Hi guys, my name is DeWitt and I'm an analyst for ESPN. I am the #1 newscaster when it comes to covering all things Tsunami Poppy. And I want to let you guys know that the inside source is that my guy Kelly Oubre is going to be going to the New York Knicks. I can't wait to play him. I mean cover him every single game. Thanks guys.
Yo, what's going on guys? Crispy Flakes here. Hope you guys are all having a fantastic day. So according to multiple sources, there is mutual interest between Kelly Oubre and the New York Knicks. And in my opinion, man, this is such a perfect fit for both sides. And I really thought it would give me a good opportunity to just kind of like tell you guys like my game plan, my offseason plan for the Knicks and what exactly they should do to continue to build up this team and get better for next NBA season. Now, before we do that, if you guys don't mind dropping a like, 1,000 likes is always the goal. And guys, we are on the road to 300,000 subscribers. We are getting so close, man. If you guys don't mind hitting that subscribe button if you are new to the channel. Okay, so before we talk about the offseason plan, let's talk about Oubre to the Knicks. How exactly is this a good fit? Well, you look at Oubre, man, last NBA season on the Warriors, he averaged 15.6 rebounds per game, about 32% from three. The guy is a bucket, right? Now, obviously, the three-point shot to start the season was atrocious. There was a point where he was shooting like 7%, but it got better as the year went on. Now, the thing about Oubre is that I really don't think he fit in all that nicely with the Golden State Warriors just because of the position that he plays. In my opinion, Oubre, I really think he should be a power forward, but I can see where a lot of people think he's more of like a primary small forward and then, you know, a secondary power forward. But a lot of the times the Golden State Warriors actually ran him at the 2 spot. Plus, you know, you got Wiggins, who is a similar type of like combo type of wing player. It just was kind of a bad fit, right, man? Now, when you think about it, though, him going to the New York Knicks, I do think there's room for him to actually be the starter at the small forward spot, just because you got RJ Barrett, who I think can play the 2 spot completely fine, and that could work out pretty nicely. Now, you could also have a small ball lineup, you know, small ball technically. I mean, Julius Randle's not like a shorter player or nothing, but you can run a lineup with having Julius Randle at the 5 spot, with Oubre at the 4, and RJ Barrett at the 3, and that would work out completely fine. So I think overall, man, like, it's not a bad start to free agency. Is it the only move that I think they should make? No, not by any stretch of the imagination. I think there's a lot of opportunity. I think a lot of players and really teams are interested in trading with the New York Knicks saw this team put on the radar. Like, this is going to be a team that free agents are going to want to go to, man. You know, Tom Thibodeau just won himself the Coach of the Year. Congratulations to him on that. That was my prediction as far as NBA awards go. And rightfully so. Like, this is a team that has a certain swagger to it, man. A certain, like, anger to it. They just want to go out there, the fans included, and prove, hey man, the New York Knicks are great at basketball again. You know, don't disrespect us anymore because we are coming for your damn head, right? So, okay, let's talk about some moves the Knicks can make this offseason to complement, you know, Kelly Oubre and the rest of the team. I still think they need to solve the point guard spot. For me, Derrick Rose, no doubt, should be re-signed. I think that, you know, you give him roughly that $7.5 million that he was making over the past few seasons. I think that's right where he needs to be at, because it's enough where Derrick Rose is getting himself a fine contract. I mean, no, he's not making the big boy bucks anymore. But, you know, he's made quite a bit of good money throughout his career, and this is a situation where he just gets to go out there, play basketball. You know, I mean, let's call it like it is. You don't want to pay too much for a bench player. That's just kind of how it is in the NBA these days, because that can really hinder your team and really kind of put you in an awkward spot chemistry-wise, where you're like, hey, like, we're paying this guy all this money to sit on the bench. So for me, Derrick Rose is no doubt a closing point guard in the 4th quarter, but he is a bench point guard nonetheless. I just, you know, all the injuries over the years and the miles he has, it's like, it's good to have him as a backup, because we all saw, like, especially at times in the playoffs, man, like, that's when he's playing his best basketball, where he can kind of come in and control the game. Now, there was times where they actually need to start him, too, because, well, Elfrid Payton, in my opinion, is just not a good point guard, man. Like, Elfrid Payton is fine, but he should not be the Knicks' starting point guard. So I think that's the first point of emphasis. So obviously, Kelly Oubre does not take care of that. But I'm thinking, you know, 2 things need to happen. They either need to go for Lonzo Ball or Malcolm Brogdon. I feel like that fixes a lot right there. This team does have a lot of assets. Now, I will say, to get a guy, to get either one of those guys, it might require giving up somebody like an Obi Toppin. And I think Obi Toppin still has a lot of great potential, but also when it comes down to it, I mean, they have Julius Randle, and Julius Randle is not that old. He's going to get himself probably a good-sized contract, and he's going to be the power forward there for the next 4 or 5 years. So Obi Toppin just doesn't fit that timeline. I mean, you don't really want Obi at small forward. He's too slow for that. You don't really want to run an Obi Toppin, Julius Randle front court just for defensive purposes. So in my opinion, the smart choice here is to get something for, you know, Obi before his trade value starts going down, much similar to like a Kevin Knox or Frank Ntilikina, you know, guys that they gave chances to, but ultimately speaking, didn't really step up to to the plate, but also didn't really fit the longevity of the team. So I think you could really get somebody pretty damn good, have that being Alonzo Ball, who I think fits in just, I've been saying, man, for the entire year now, like, he is the perfect starting point guard for this team, brings the defense, brings better offense these days too, man. Like, his three-point shot gets knocked down, and just a great floor general, and he's not too much of like a high offensive guy where he's gonna need like 20 shots a game to really impact the game. So by them getting Lonzo and Kelly Oubre, not only are those guys perfect together in transition, but the shots are there for Oubre, Julius Randle, Emmanuel Quickley, RJ Barrett, whoever else they get on this team going forward. So I think that's completely fine. And then I like the idea of Brogdon, just because the Pacers, you can feel at times maybe they're looking to go into some sort of type of rebuild, and I feel like getting Brogdon is that type of combo guard that could play with all these different guards on this team, having that be in a Derrick Rose or an RJ Barrett or Emmanuel Quickley. So I feel like both those guys fit in perfectly on this team. Would love to see them get either one. I think I was saying they got to re-sign Derrick Rose. I would like them to bring, Alec Burks back. I don't think it's extremely necessary, but I do like him as a small forward off the bench, getting some shots up. He had some pretty big moments in the playoffs. But when it comes down to it, man, like, I feel like the lineup could be, I don't know, you guys as Knicks fans, you guys let me know, are you guys ready to accept Emmanuel Quickley as like a starting point guard, or do you like him more as that shooting guard spot? For me, his player comparison is definitely like a Terry Rozier, where he can really play either position, but also you like the idea of him, getting a lot of shots on offense, right? Which is not always the greatest thing in a starting lineup, just as far as like making plays for others at the point guard spot. But I can really like see like a closing death type of lineup of Derrick Rose or Lonzo Ball, either one, Emmanuel Quickley, RJ Barrett, Kelly Oubre, and Julius Randle like close out games. Like, offensively, man, like, that's gonna do some crazy things for you. So as far as like going for some of those guys, I feel like some of the answers are already on the team. So I'm not saying get all these guys, but I'm saying, if they are available, try to get one or two of them, right? And I think another choice needs to be made here, man. Is it time to move on from Mitchell Robinson? Mitchell Robinson, I always said he was going to be Rudy Gobert with better offense, which I know is a bold statement for one of the greatest defensive centers of all time in Rudy Gobert. But Mitchell Robinson, he's definitely has a lot of injury history and stuff. And I think there's a lot of rebuilding teams out there that wouldn't mind getting their hands on him and could be more patient with him. But if you're the Knicks, like I said, you're ready to compete right now. Mitchell Robinson, I still think has a lot of trade value, even despite the injuries. And I think, once again, like, Nerlens Noel was a solid center for that team. But beyond Nerlens Noel, you get him back for a backup maybe. But once again, talking about the Pacers again, if they don't want to go for a Brogdon, go for a guy like Miles Turner, who plays very similarly to Nerlens Noel in the defensive aspect, but also can bring you a little bit of offense, but in a way that's not too much. That's the thing, is like, with this Knicks team, there's so many gifted players on the team as is, that you don't want to give up, those shots by overpaying for some sort of trade. You want specialty players that come in, play hard defense, can find their spots offensively, and kind of go from there, right, man? I feel like Mitchell Robinson, I feel like Miles Turner kind of fits that role very nicely. And then the final thing I think this team needs to do, but is not absolutely necessary, is trade for a superstar if it means not giving up the entire team. There's rumors out there, Damian Lillard obviously being a big one, of being interested in the New York Knicks. And when it comes down to it, like, that's cool and everything, but this team already is very youthful. They have a really good direction already. I'm not sitting there giving up, RJ Barrett, Obi Toppin, and Emmanuel Quickley to get Damian Lillard. In the moment, yes, it's great, but I really would hate for this team to pull a Carmelo Anthony trade all over again. We all remember when Carmelo Anthony was originally traded to the New York Knicks. They essentially gave up the entire damn roster to get Melo half a season early, man. That's really what it was. Melo was already interested in the team, and when it came down to it, like, they were like, well, we want him right now. So they gave up literally everybody, man. Like, Danilo Gallinari, I believe, Wilson Chandler. There was a ton of other guys in the trade, and it was Melo and then nobody else. So I would hate for them to build this great team up, go through the pain over the years, trade it all the way, and when it comes down to it, if I'm a Knicks fan, I'm like, hey, if you're a superstar and you're a free agent and you want to play for this team, okay, great, you can come sign with us, but we're not giving up anything to get you over here, man. You choose New York, we ain't choosing you. I feel like that's the attitude this team needs to have going forward. And yeah, I feel like the 2021-2022 season is going to be a good opportunity to get some decent players, maybe fill out some of the kinks a little bit, and just continue developing the chemistry of this team, man. Maybe make a nice little playoff run to get to the second round or something and be good to go from there. Don't lock yourself into anything too crazy salary cap wise, because 2022 is one of those years where there's a ton of big name free agents where you can go out there and get somebody. Like one thing I'm highly fearful of is management doing something, trading for a name. going out there and being like, oh, like, let's get like Gordon Hayward, and then taking on that ridiculously sized contract, or being like, let's get Kemba Walker. And it's like, yeah, Kemba's fine, but he's not really worth the money he's making these days, or like a CJ McCollum. I would not do that. There's so many talented players on this team as is, guys. So you guys let me know in the comment section below what moves you want the Knicks to make this NBA offseason. Like I was saying earlier, Kelly Oubre, I think is a fantastic start, man. Like, he's just one of those jack of all trades type of guys. I will say though, I mean, with Oubre, there is a chance if he does sign with this team, he might have to settle for a six-man role. Just because, like I said, I don't like Julius Randle really running like full-time starting center, so he needs to be the 4. And then RJ Barrett, like I said, could play the 2 spots, but it really comes down to some of the other guards you get on this team, right? And if you're ready to have Emmanuel quickly as a starter, or if you get Derrick Rose back, or you end up going for somebody like Lonzo Ball, that's the only thing, right? So, ultimately speaking, I feel like I've said ultimately like 27 times this video, man. But regardless, ultimately speaking, man. Masterly speaking. Master Ball from Pokemon, I guess. I don't know what I'm saying at this point, guys. But I think ultimate closing lineup with what they already got is pretty damn good. You know, Derrick Rose, Emmanuel quickly, RJ Barrett, Kelly Oubre, and Julius Randle. Sign me up for that, man. It's going to be a fun offseason for the Knicks, guys. You guys definitely have a great future. I'm happy for you guys. I know the playoffs didn't work out exactly, but any great team has stepping stones. Nobody goes from, you know, the bottom to the top just like that. Over the seasons, you know, you are going to go through bad times where you might lose in the first round of the playoffs, or maybe you lose in that Game 7 of the second round or the Eastern Conference Finals. But ultimately speaking, man, Superman. Yeah, I just realized I had DeWitt in the beginning of this video. I'm wearing a Superman shirt. I just realized that, man. But when it comes down to it, there we go. You guys will get there in the end, man. There's just a few more moves you got to make, and I think management will do it. You guys got it in you. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to drop that like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and peace out, my friends.